Thank you for joining me. I'm going to spend some time now to answer some questions on the Portugal Golden Visa Investment Scheme. The frequently asked questions that come up may not be some of the questions that are on your mind. So if I haven't answered your questions at the end of this, then please do contact me via WhatsApp or email and I'll be happy to answer them. So the question that comes up quite a lot is why Portugal? There are a number of these schemes available across the globe and indeed across Europe. So why is it that Portugal has become so popular? At the moment, Portugal's scheme is the most popular in Europe in terms of investment migration. And there are a number of reasons for this, and I'll try to answer some of those. Portugal has got an excellent reputation globally. It's considered to be one of the most peaceful countries in the world. It's stable, it's secure. It has a good quality of life, and the cost of living is low. And these are some of the reasons why we're seeing a shift from the typical investor. We've seen a lot of investment from the Chinese, from Russians and South Africans and others. But now we're seeing an increasing number from the UK, driven largely by Brexit, the US and Canada. And the lifestyle and security are some of the main reasons that we're hearing as to why they're looking to Portugal as being an ideal place for their futures. The UN has also compiled something called the Human Development Index. What it recognises is that a country cannot be defined solely on its economic success. The success of a country has also got to look at how its people fare, how successful they are in living in those countries. And that's now accepted to be the main way to assess how well a country is doing. Portugal is very high on the Human Development Index, and this is something that's applied to all the countries around the globe. The things that they look at include a long, healthy life, access to good education, and the ability to earn a good income. And Portugal is deemed to score very high in these three areas. There are also other more practical considerations why people look at Portugal instead of, for example, Spain or Greece, where you have to spend 10 and 7 years respectively before you can apply for citizenship. But in Portugal, the requirement is only 5 years. So already you can see there's a time difference in how long you have to maintain your investment. And bear in mind also that your investment has to be maintained, that means has to be kept for the duration of the time that you're a resident. So you can't sell it and you can't do anything with it until you've reached that time frame. So it's 5 years in Lisbon, 10 in Spain, and 7 in Greece. And those timeframes can be prohibitive to some. You can look at the financial aspect. In Malta, for instance, the investment threshold is much higher. It's between 6 and 750,000 euro before you can even access their process. So Portugal has got a 350,000 euro requirement at its lowest level, and that's for investing in a development property. And one thing I should highlight about that is that your investment plus the development cost are combined to reach a total of 350,000. So for example, your investment property might cost you 300,000 and your development cost may be 50,000. You can pull those two figures together to reach the threshold under the scheme. So that's also something that's quite attractive to a lot of investors. Now we're going to look at tax. There's very little specifically that I will say on the subject other than to say that there is a very attractive taxation system in Portugal, and you should take some personalised advice from your tax advisor on that. What's also true is that if you do have an external income, then Portugal will not charge you tax on that income if you spend less than 183 consecutive days in the country. So spending less than 183 consecutive days in Portugal will be fine. And then you won't have to pay tax on any of your external income, if any. And again, you should take some personalised advice on that issue. What does it cost? That's, of course, a prime question for most. If you were to take a family of 4, then your costs will be between 50,000 to 100,000 euros, and that's in addition to whatever your investment cost is. So you'll need to factor in an extra amount for these fees levied by the government in terms of tax, lawyers' fees, and so on. How long is this process going to be available? And why do I raise this question? The process has been around since 2012, and Portugal's issued about 10,000 visas in that time, so you can see that it's a popular one. But how long is it going to be around, and why are we considering that? The EU has been making some concerned comments to various countries in Europe, including Portugal, and has asked that they withdraw the system. Portugal has not done that, and the other countries have also not done that. It continues to be a reliable source of foreign investment into the country, and during the time that it's been in operation, Portugal has earned 5.3 billion euros, which is not insignificant. It's a great disincentive for them to consider closing the scheme, but the changes that are coming up are notable and may be pointing to a shift in the scheme. Currently, you can invest in property across Portugal. You have a choice. You can invest in Lisbon, in Porto, in the Algarve, and other coastal areas. As of January 22, you won't have that choice, and you'll only be allowed to invest in low-density, non-coastal areas. So you won't be able to invest in Lisbon, Porto, the Algarve, and other coastal areas after December of this year. And if you are interested and want to make an application, then you really should do it by the end of this year, by the last day of December, and you'll still be able to fulfill the rest of the requirements as long as you lodge your application in time. The process can finish into 2022, and that'll still be fine, but you really should start thinking about making the application soon. So I think that answers a lot of the questions that typically come up for us, but if you do have any more, then please don't hesitate to contact me, and also bear in mind that there is a time factor, and you really should make an application soon if you want to make sure that you have the depth and the breadth of choice regarding investment. And the reason I've focused on property as the investment of choice is because over 90% of cases, property investment is the most popular and the most easier form of investment under this particular scheme. So please do get in touch if you do have questions, and thank you.